Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's me, Tiffany, and today I'm going to talk to you all about my top 5 favorite foundations for women of color. It's been a while since I've done a favorites video on my channel, and to be honest, I don't have a ton of favorites right now to film an entire video, but I do have my top 5 favorite foundations that I use on my channel all the time, and I thought that I would compile a video of them, let you guys know a little bit about the foundations, why I like them, and their price point. I'm filming with this hat on today because after I'm done, I'm gonna be heading out. And also, the roots are getting a little crazy. So this is the perfect way to cover them up. I'm gonna keep this video really short and sweet and to the point. So without further ado, let's jump right in. Before we jump into the video, go ahead and hit that subscribe button for me and that notification bell. That way you'll be notified every single time I upload and you won't miss a thing. These foundations are in no particular order. So the first one that I show doesn't mean that it's my favorite of the 5. I equally love all 5 foundations. I think I'm gonna go ahead and start with the one that I have on. So today I'm actually wearing NYX's Can't Stop, Won't Stop foundation in the color Mahogany. I have a full review dedicated to this foundation on my channel, so if you want to see how it applies, how it wears, go ahead and check that out. I will link it somewhere here in the video. This foundation is a full coverage matte foundation. I picked it up at Ulta for about $15. One of the reasons I love this foundation is because it says it's matte, but it's not matte to the point that it dries your skin out. Like I said, I have it on today and I have powders on top of it, and it still looks very skin-like. I mean, it's not dewy, and to be honest, I don't want it dewy because I have oily skin, and it also has just the right amount of mattifying effects for me. The foundation is also said to be a 24-hour wear. I don't know if it'll last 24 hours, but it definitely is long wearing. I think in my review, I went and worked out and came back on camera and let you guys see how the foundation was holding up, and it still looks pretty good. One of the main reasons that I love this foundation is because it comes in 45 shades. Yes, 45 shades. I mentioned that I picked this one up at Ulta, but I believe it's at some other drugstores as well, like Target, for instance. I'm not sure if Walmart carries it, but I know for sure that I've seen it in Target. So to be able to choose from 45 foundation shades at a drugstore level is pretty amazing. And I found that I could probably wear 3 shades from the line. This at the time was my best match because I was tan for the summer. As the winter comes in, I probably would be able to go up a shade lighter, but to be honest, I'll probably stick with this one throughout the winter because I feel like it is better to have your foundation a tad darker than a tad lighter. I highly recommend this foundation to anyone who's had difficulty finding their shade, people who are oily, people who are dry, combination, whatever the case may be. I do recommend this foundation. My next favorite foundation is the Loreal True Match. This is in the color W8 Creme Cafe. Before Can't Stop, Won't Stop came on the scene, this was my favorite drugstore foundation. This foundation comes in 33 shades, which is also amazing for drugstore. You can find these literally everywhere: Target, Walmart, Walgreens, Rite Aid, CVS, and Ulta. So this is going to be very accessible to pretty much anyone, and the shade range is also one to brag about. For the drugstore, I can wear 2 shades that I know of from this line. I can wear W8 Creme Cafe, and I also can wear N7 here, which is Classic Tan. I'm telling you, for a long time, these shades were my go-tos, especially when I was just getting into makeup and I didn't want to spend $50 or $60 on a bottle of foundation. I believe these run for about $8 a piece at Walmart, which is a total steal. Now, about the coverage of this foundation, I don't find it to be full coverage, but many of the foundations that I show you guys here on this video today are not going to be highly full coverage foundations. For me personally, I prefer more of a medium foundation, even a light foundation that's buildable to medium. Those are my go-tos for coverage as far as foundation goes. Now, this does dry down pretty matte. Again, I have oily skin, so most all of the foundations that I'm going to show you today aren't going to be very moisturizing or dewy foundations. My next favorite for women of color is the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Foundation. This one comes in 40 shades. and the price point is around $34. When this foundation hit the scene, it was sold out everywhere. I went to Sephora the very first day that it came out to pick out my shade, and it was a ton of girls there, and I managed to pick up the shade 370. I'm not gonna lie, when I went to get this foundation, I had a real hard time color matching. It's not that it wasn't a lot of colors available, because it was 40 shades. It's just that the way they were named and the order that they were in were a bit confusing. So I think they were named in order of undertone. So like, for example, you had 1 through 10 in neutral undertones, and then you had like 1 through 10 in golden undertones, and like 1 through 10 in olive undertones, and 1 through 10 in yellow undertones, and 1 through 10 in pink undertones. So it was kind of confusing. I managed to get 370, which at the time was a pretty good match. Right now, I'm still a little bit too tan for it, so I probably won't get much more use for this one until the winter, December, January time, where I'm very light. This one is definitely a go-to for all of my oily combination girls out there. I've heard girls that have dry skin say they don't like this foundation, or they have to pair it with a moisturizing primer, and then it works a little bit better for them. But if you are normal to combination, you should be fine using your regular primers with this. It claims to be a soft matte finish, which to me, that means that it's a little bit more skin-like and it won't dry your skin out. I believe this claims to be full coverage as well. I don't know if it's completely full coverage. It's definitely buildable. One of my favorite things about this foundation is I really feel like it blurs the skin. When I put this foundation on, the finish I get is a really soft, airbrushed, blurred look, and I love that. The next favorite is the NARS Natural Radiant Longwear Foundation. When this hit the scene, this was very popular as well. This one comes in about 33 shades, and the price is $50. So this one is a little pricey. It's gonna cost you a little coin, but this is probably the most full coverage of all the foundations that I'm gonna show. I like this one because even though it is full coverage, the finish is very skin-like. You're not gonna get a lot of thickness or a lot of cakiness out of this foundation. You will get the coverage, but you won't get the cake. So that's like the best thing about this foundation. Also, if you are more on the drier side, this is probably gonna be the best foundation for you to pick up out of the 5 that I'm mentioning, because this one does have more of a natural radiance to it, more of a natural luminosity to it, but it's definitely not going to make you oily. So it is still safe to use for all of my combination and oily skin folks. I'm in the shade Moorea in this foundation, and I believe I can get away with a couple of others with this foundation. This is the only one that I have, but when I shade matched myself, I had a hard time choosing between this one and 2 others, I believe. And honestly, I don't know if I made the right choice, because I do think this undertone is a little bit too yellow for me. When I wear it, I like the coverage, I like the finish, but the color is just a little bit off to me. I think I should probably go with a more neutral undertone foundation in this one, or more golden. This is a touch too yellow, but nonetheless, still a great foundation and one of my top 5 favorites. Oh, and before I forget to mention, I picked this one up at Sephora. And last but certainly not least is the MakeupForever Ultra HD Foundation in the color Y455. Y'all, this used to be my baby. I used to wear this foundation all the time, everywhere. It was my favorite. I haven't used it much on my channel lately, and that's because this bottle is about empty, and I just can't bring myself to throw it away because I love it so much. I need to pick up a new one, but I have so many foundations right now that I felt like, okay, we can hold off on this one and we can get it later, but it's definitely still in my top 5. This honestly might be my favorite of the 5. Maybe I need to wear it again before I say that, because I mentioned I haven't worn it in a long time, but this is definitely a top contender. The shade range is amazing. This comes in 40 shades and the price range is about $43. I can wear multiple shades from this foundation line. They recently extended it, I think, so I can wear this shade Y455. I can also wear this shade here, which is a little deluxe sample that I picked up, and this is Y445 or 173. I think they recently updated or changed the names or something, so the names are very confusing because they're just numbers. But just for reference, if you're around my skin tone, I can wear Y455 and Y445. So why 455 is a little bit more warm, and the small deluxe bottle, why 445 is a little bit more neutral. So I can definitely get away with both of these shades. Again, I love this foundation so much. I picked it up at Sephora. My favorite thing about this foundation is the finish. You really get a natural finish. If you're looking for a full beat, ultra cake, ultra coverage, this one may not be the way to go. But if you're looking for an everyday foundation that you can have some coverage and build it up if you need more, then this one is going to be your go-to. Also, it applies really well, easy to blend, and it dries down to a natural matte finish. I believe the foundation is recommended for combination to oily skin, which I think this is going to be the best for you if you have oily or combination skin. But I do think my dry girls could get away with this if you moisturize first, of course, and apply a moisturizing primer as well. Then I think you'd be okay with this because it's definitely not drying in any way. The name of the foundation is Ultra HD, which I think is a true statement because I do feel like when you put this foundation on, it's kind of undetectable. You know, you definitely can tell you have some foundation on, but it's so natural and blends so well. I mean, it's just amazing. Okay guys, that'll do it for my top 5 favorite foundations for women of color. And the reason that I say these foundations are great for women of color is because they have an awesome shade range. I believe every single thing I named had 30 shades or more, which is excellent that brands are extending their shades and becoming more inclusive, because I know there's still some brands where they only have 12 foundation shades or 13 foundation shades. And if you are a woman of color, it's gonna be very hard to find one that actually matches your skin tone. You guys can let me know what your favorite foundations are in the comments below so I can check those out. Okay y'all, I'm about to step out. So this completes this video. I hope you enjoyed it. You know what to do if you did. Give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Be sure to hit the notification bell so that you can be notified every single time I upload a video, which is twice a week. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, and Twitter. I will link all of those down below in the description box. I want to thank you all so much for watching, and until my next one, bye.